The sun is attempting to break through the clouds, and it will probably manage to. One day it is spring, and the next it is as winter. The weather represents man's moods, up and down, darkness and temporary light. It is strange how we want freedom and do everything to enslave ourselves. We lose our initiative. We look to others to guide or help us, to be generous, to be peaceful. We look to the gurus, masters, saviors, mediators. Someone writes great music, someone plays it, interpreting it in his own way, and we listen to it, enjoying it or criticizing it. We are the audience watching the actors, football players, or the cinema screen. Others write poems and we read them. Others paint and we gape at the paintings. We have nothing, so we turn to others to entertain us, to inspire us, to guide or save us. More and more, modern civilization is destroying us, emptying us of all creativeness. We are empty inwardly, and we look to others to be enriched. And so our neighbor takes advantage of this to exploit, or we take advantage of him. When one is aware of the main implications involved in looking to others, that very freedom is the beginning of creativeness. That freedom is true revolution, and not the false revolution of social or economic adjustments. Such revolution is another form of enslavement. Our minds make little castles of security. We want to be sure of everything, sure of our relationships, of our fulfillments, our hopes, and our futures. We build these inward prisons and keep away anyone that disturbs us. It is strange how the mind is ever seeking a zone where there will be no conflict or disturbance. Our living is the constant breaking up and rebuilding in different forms of these zones of safety. Our mind then becomes a dull and weary thing. Freedom is having no security of any kind. It is astonishing to have a still and very calm mind, without a single wave of thought. Of course, the stillness of a dead mind is not a calm mind. The mind can be made still by the action of will, but can it ever be profoundly, right through its whole being, silent? It is most amazing what happens when the mind is silent. In that state, all consciousness as knowing and recognizing ceases. The instinctual pursuit of the mind, memory, has come to an end, and it is very interesting how the mind begins to do its best to capture that wordless state through thinking, verbalizing, and perfecting symbols. But for this process to come to an end naturally and spontaneously is like dying to everything. One does not want to die, and so there is an unconscious struggle going on, and this struggle is called life. It is strange how most people want to impress others by their achievements, by their cleverness, by their books, by any means to assert themselves. It is strange that for most people, boredom is a very real thing. They must be doing something, be occupied with something, an activity, a book, the kitchen, children, or God. Otherwise, they are with themselves, which is very boring. When they are with themselves, they get self-centered, crotchety, or become ill or ill-humored. An unoccupied mind, not a negative blank mind, but an alert, passive mind, a totally empty mind, is a sweet thing, capable of infinite possibilities. Thoughts are wearisome, uncreative, and rather dull. A thought may be clever, but cleverness is as a sharp instrument. It soon wears itself out, and that is why clever people are dull. It is important to have the right kind of exercise, good sleep, and a day that has significance. But one slips so easily into a routine, and then one functions in the easy pattern of self-satisfaction or self-imposed rectitude. These patterns invariably lead to death, a slow withering away. But to have a rich day in which there is no compulsion, no fear, no comparison, no conflict, but simply to be aware, is to be creative. There are rare moments when we feel this, but most of our life is made up of eroding memories, frustration, and vain efforts, and the real thing fades away. It is really quite arduous to penetrate through this cloud and be in the simple clarity of light. Just see all this, and that is all. Don't try to be simple. This trying only breeds complexity and misery. The trying is becoming, and the becoming is always desire, with its frustrations. How important it is to free oneself from all emotional and psychological shock. This does not mean that one must harden oneself against the movement of life. These shocks gradually build up various psychological resistances that also affect the body, bringing various forms of illness. Life is a series of events, wanted and unwanted, and as long as we pick and choose which we shall keep and which we shall discard, there must inevitably be a conflict of duality, which is the shock. This series of checks harden the mind and heart. It is a self-enclosing process, and so there is suffering. To allow the movement of life without choice, without any particular movement, desirable and undesirable, taking root, needs enormous awareness. It is not a matter of trying to be aware all the time, which is wearisome, but seeing the necessity of the truth of awareness. Then you will see that the very necessity operates without your forcing yourself to be aware. One may travel, be educated in the best of schools, have the best of foods and distraction, a good climate, but does all this make for intelligence? The very learned people, those who have plenty of information and knowledge, are they intelligent? Don't you think intelligence is something entirely different? It is the total freedom from fear. Those whose morality is based on security, security in every form, are not moral, for the desire for security is the outcome of fear. Fear and the constraint of fear, which we call morality, is not moral at all. Intelligence is the total freedom from fear. Intelligence is not respectability, nor is it the various virtues cultivated through fear. In understanding fear, there is something wholly different from the formulations of the mind.